Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to BMG Unplugged. I am Lady Des, and I am so excited about this platform on tonight. And we just want to welcome you all here. You are going to get candid conversation on tonight, inside scoop on BMG, Little David, and the Bells of Joy, along with the owner, CEO of BMG, Tracy Merritt. And I want to welcome the newest addition to the BMG family. She is our BMG media correspondent, Miss Kaylee Porter. Moderating on tonight for us. And of course, I am Lady Des. Those of you who don't know me, Desiree Hall, I am PR for BMG and Little David and the Bells of Joy. So tonight I am going to be working as the virtual stage manager, and I present to you all Miss Kaylee Porter.
Hey, hello, everyone.
How you doing?
Hello.
I'm good. I'm just so glad to be here and in this Unplugged, BMG Unplugged, where we get to let the head down, really get into the logistics and all the background that people just don't even know about. I'm loving it. I'm loving it already, and we haven't even gotten started yet.
Yes.
So just to even before we even get started, as Lady Des already said, we are going to sitting here right now talking to Mr. Tracy Merritt and Mr. David Merritt, and you guys know him better as Lil David of Lil David and the Bells of Joy. Guys, they are here. They are the co-founders, the co-owners of BMG Music Group, right? So the Bells Music Group, and also over the Lil David and the Bells of Joy. So you definitely want to tune in. I hope you are here. If you came in for a minute, a moment, an hour, the entire time, please. We are grateful to have you. Sit back and take your hair down as we unplug. So my first question for tonight is to you, Tracy. So we know that you don't sing in the group. We know that you are the brain, the management, the logistics, and all of those parts. What got you started there?
Well, I got started around 1983 when my father had a group called the Sensational Bells of Joy. And at that time, my job was to unload equipment, carry the clothes bags, set the record table up. So that was my job. That's how I got started. Carrying equipment, selling 45 records, carrying their clothes, setting up the stage. So I had to do all that before I even became a member of the group.
So you were a roadie?
I'm the roadie, yes. I was the roadie.
Awesome. Wow. So what was that undertaking like? Because that's a heavy load to carry. To be the roadie, you got all of the stuff. You everybody else just kind of cruise in, and you like, hold on, we're in the back with the bags.
Well, it was a great experience. I love doing it. And, at the age of, let me see, 83, I was 13. So between the age of 13 to 16, 17, as a young man, I was able to travel the country. And at that time, I probably been to probably 15 different states within the early age. So I just had loved it at the time, something to do, to get away. And my father, he just never left me home. He always just grabbed me and, come on, you're going with me.
I laugh because I'm sitting here thinking when we were going to church and how your parents used to be like, no, come on, you going. So you, is that the same kind of the same with you? It's like you come and you're going to learn this, whether you sing, whether, whatever you do, you're going to learn this.
Well, yeah. Like I said, at that age and time, I never even thought about being in the business. He just grabbed me, took me with him. And, like I said, I was able to go to 15, 16 different states at the time. And I just enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it as a kid, just something to do. And today it's paying off. I'm glad he never left me home.
That's it. So did you ever take it as like when you said you never really thought of it as work, or you just enjoy doing it? Was it more like just being able to spend time with your dad?
Um, yeah, that too. I was the type that I always attended at rehearsals. I sat at rehearsals, but he never gave me a microphone to put in my hand. I don't know why. He never gave me the microphone, never attempted, but now I see why. Skipped over me, went down to my brother, gave him the voice, and gave me the mindset.
And I was just
So
about to
then,
ask you.
right. So then, I got serious. I got serious in around about 1990 when he branched off and started his another set of Bells of Joy. Then I became the business manager at the time, and I wanted to feel important. So every time he got a brand new briefcase, he would give me his briefcase, and I would walk around my briefcase, nothing but a pen and pad. That's it. I thought that was just being important. They used to
Right.
laugh at me and everything, but that's what I did. And then what happened is that um, the record company at the time, who had got us out there, we didn't know the business. So a lot of things was taken away from us. So I said, if I ever learn the business and learn how to do things, then we're gonna start our own record company. And once we did that in 2000, then everything just started falling in place.
Okay. So without giving too much away, what else would have been the case? Like, what are some of the things that you look back on and say, okay, if we had more knowledge, we could have been able to sustain this or retain this?
Well, I wish at the time I wish I had the knowledge I had now because, like I said, back then they was new to the game. The record companies at the time was all for themselves. They took everything from the artists. So I just kind of wish I knew how to do things like I know now, because I think my father would have got a lot more benefits, and he would have been able to see a lot of his rewards.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
did not he didn't get a chance to see a lot of his rewards until later on through his years up until his death.
So what do you do now that you attribute to him? What do you do now that you attribute to, or you can say this is still the tradition from your father?
Um, I still run business. I still run the business the way he ran it. Um, a lot of things. The lot of way I do things now is the way he did it. You know. So what we try to do is that we try not to change our structure and our training on how we were brought up and how we did things, because he was just a structured person. He went by the book and how he did things. He wanted things perfect, and I'm the same way right now. Even though I'm not in the group, I want it perfect. When it comes out of my business, me doing my part, I want it perfect. And me and my brother talk all the time. We have our disagreements how we want things to be, but at the end of the day, we want it perfect. Because that's all he did was practice perfection.
Absolutely. It transcends.
Haley, let me jump in here for just a second
Sure.
because we're getting some comments that are coming in.
Okay.
Shirley Lotta said, your hard work pays off big time. Thank God for you. And always dedicated. This is from Carlo. Carlo Gregg says, always was dedicated and a hard worker for the group. And these are definitely some true statements. And just working the short time I've been working with Tracy, I'm pretty sure that his dad is greatly happy to see that what both of his sons are doing, carrying his legacy and his name, because everything he instilled in them, they're building from that. So that's a good thing, Tracy. He may not be able to see it now, but I'm pretty sure that he's looking down and he is really happy about what you all are doing.
Oh yeah, yes, yes. And that's why I work so hard, because before he passed, I asked the question, what do you want us to do? He said, I want y'all to keep it going. So my goal was to be the best at what I did. As far as managing the group, whatever I did for this group, I want to be the best at it. Because at the end of the day, when my nieces, nephews, my grandkids get older, I want them to say that their uncle and their grandfather, whatever the case may be, laid a good foundation for them. So I try to put 110% to everything I do, no matter what it is. While everybody up, while everybody sleep at night, that's, I'm up.
Absolutely.
11, 12 o'clock at night, I'm up. I got my pen and pad beside my bed. I'm always thinking and writing, always. And one thing I love the most, when somebody tell me what I can't do, because when they say I can't do it, I make it happen.
Absolutely.
See, and I'm glad you mentioned, having that legacy built with you and your brother for his grandchildren, his children, and even further on, and your nieces and nephews. And that brings me into the question that I have for him. David, hi, David.
Hey, KP.
Um, so I just wanted to ask you same question to start. What started you in the quartet industry? We know that your dad was there and he kind of brought y'all along like church, the church services, you were kind of there. But what led to you specifically? Because you're the youngest, am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay.
What got me started was kind of the same thing that got him started. Just being dragged along. Um, being 4, 5, 6 years old, leaving out every weekend. At that time, you talking 1983. I wasn't singing with him, but again, I used to travel with him. They was on a record label called Gospel Pearl Records, which was an excellent record label at the time. Had various artists such as the Mighty Supreme Voices, which is the Texas Boys, Doug Miller, the Singing Disciples of Baltimore. They had the Sensational Bells of Joy. They had a group called Little Cedric and the Haley Singers, which is now KC and JoJo. And I just was blessed enough to come up under both of those guys and travel with them, and got a chance to sit backstage and see one of the youngest at that time that was doing it. That was really amazing to me. That was a very important part of my childhood, and I love those times. It
Wow.
was just later on when the groups started, having disagreements, and fortunately went their separate ways. And in 1988 and 89, he reached back and uh, picked me up and picked my brother up, and it was just that was the beginning of our story back then in 1988 and 89. So my introduction was the same as his, being dragged along, and I had to step up and play my part at that time when it was time to step up and play my part. And it definitely was uh, a great experience for me to grow up under those guys, and just to be young around those guys and see how they was doing it back then. It was definitely amazing.
Wow. So you mentioned your dad being, kind of the catalyst for uh, people that have essentially been crossed over, right? They that are not doing gospel, but they are doing other genres of music. So your dad, even back then, was a crossover type of artist. He was a crossover artist, um, which leads me to my next question. Um, why do you think quartet gospel is so unique from every other genre, like other genres of music, or even gospel for that matter?
Well, I mean, it's so unique because the sound make it unique. The people that sang it makes it unique. Where the people come from that sings it make it unique. Uh, we could be attached to blues, southern gospel. It's just a culture within itself. It's a sound that can't be repeated, and you have to be from that community to understand it. And I'm blessed to be a part of such a small community, but a great community at the same time, which is quartet music, and it's evolving and changing every day, and I'm excited about that as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Kaylee, let me just jump in here one more time. We have
No problem.
two of our special guests that have joined the panel. We have Mr. Joe Riley of AM 1490 WMBM here in Miami, Florida. And we also have Darlene Boyd Brooks of the Boyd Sisters of Baltimore, Maryland, that
Yay.
joined the platform. So let's welcome them. And we're going to pause right here and just give them a chance to, say their say. And if they have any questions or comments, they can go ahead and ask.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going first. This is a good night. Come on here. Great things, my brothers. And I need to ask no question because I already know my answer. These are my lifetime brothers. And everybody should know the bells. Ding dong, bells of joy. That's right. That's right. We all got history and we can't help it. It's good to know your foundation. So I'm part of that foundation too. We go way back with our daddies. Like he said, we was the quartet babies, dragged to church. That was the platform that helped all of us in our ministry, in our group. So I'm excited for my brothers because one thing about each one of them, each one, David, Tracy, Kim, Lisa, myself, and all the rest of us, the Boyd family, I love everybody because each one of them, I look at, when I heard Tracy talking, I can tell the story because from growing up around Tracy and all of us, every Sunday, every weekend, whatever, if they're in town, and Daddy David Harrison, God rest his soul, Lord, no, I miss that man. I always got a free ticket when we come to the anniversary. That's how they were because him and my father, that's how they were. Am I telling the truth? That's how they don't get free tickets no more. Huh? They don't get free tickets no more. Yeah, man. That's my brother's children. So anyway, but anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm telling too much, So anyway, but I've been saying about to see Tracy, speaking many things from the youth days, and he's doing it. He's forever dreaming because that comes from God, his vision. Always had that from, and you mentioned about, y'all call him, the world call him Jodeci. We call him Little Cedric. Cedric used to say the same thing. We was that circle growing up. Cedric always say he's going to be bigger than Michael Jackson. Because he just knew that he was, come on. David, you remember that? Y'all remember that? Yeah. He spoke it. So, yeah. And then because it was already in us, we saw it, seen it. And that's why sometimes Trace and I had this conversation when we was at, I think it was New Vision. We was outside talking and, he was talking about but we don't see too many of the youth like we were. At Quartet, you see a lot of children. You don't see too much on this area. I know South had it, but you remember our conversation, Tracy? We was talking about how we can pull the next generation, not only our children, but this around our local and abroad, But anyway, I'm going back to Dave and each one of them. So it's a sight to see my brothers walking and where they're going to go. And what God ordained is going to be. So I know y'all got BMG, but when I look at it, I see black men for God. That's what I'm saying. Like that. Put down the t-shirt. That belongs to them. I just saw what I saw when I seen BMG. I say, I know, Mr. Dave is so proud of them in the spirit. And it's okay because when we see them, we see their foundation. We see a David Harrison.
Absolutely. Okay, real quick, we have two more comments. The other one came from Shirley Lata. She said their father laid the foundation and he built upon it. Carlo Gregg, my brother, one of the most humblest lead singers on the road. His favorite quote, "I'm going to stay in my lane." Love you.
That's David. Yeah. And I love that because where we come from, it's like you can't be nobody else but you. Your sound is your sound. Their fingerprints is their fingerprints. And that's what makes that the strong foundation. The era of those David Harrison. I'm thinking about even, they didn't just fellowship just on the quartet. I'm just thinking about Sunday mornings. Sometimes Mr. David used to come up and jump, just come into our morning service. And I just love that family unity. So that's where we coming from. So I'm kind of protective of my brothers. I think they know that all right already. So it is what it is. And we got each other. We might fuss, whatever. If we have any disagreement, I don't think we had too much disagreement, but it's good like that. We know that we can come to each other. That's family. Absolutely. And when you don't see them, and we don't see each other, believe me, we support each other, even behind the scenes. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Wow. So we're going to bring on Mr. Joe Riley of AM 1490 WMBM here in Miami.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Glad to see you. And I feel like I'm a part of the group because of Lady Des. But in listening to Tracy speak earlier when I got on, then I started thinking, Tracy, this question is for you. Were you the force behind starting your own label or starting the whole and organizing the whole group and the business part of the group?
Well, my father always had a little private label called Bell Sounds at the time. So once we left Gospel Records, which is a record company who got us known, they sold out to Atlanta International. Then Atlanta International sold out to Malico. Then we left that and went to a company called Blessed Records. And then in 2000, we all just came together. So let's just start our own record company. So we started Bell's Records. So it was kind of like all our input to do it. But it was like my father, he really wanted me to run it, be behind it, because I was younger and I was more of the business minded of it.
Okay. As I've been observing and watching how you operate, do you and David collaborate a lot together about what should be done? That both of you can answer that question, or
all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
All the time.
Great. I see some good things, and like I said, by working with Lady Des, you all have a good structure. A really, really good structure. Most I've seen out there in the industry, and as you already know. So I encourage you to just continue. And as long as I'm on the air, the bells of joy will be played.
Thank you,
sir. We appreciate you.
I know you do. Thank you. Thank you for the interview as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kaylee, we have Miss Evangeline that just joined, as well as MJ Smith, another radio personality from Miami, Florida, AM 1490 WMBM. Miss Evangeline is also a promoter in the Rocky Mount area, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and she's also
my family.
So let's bring up, I think MJ was logged in, and Miss Evangeline. So you want to go to one of them, Kaylee?
Yes. So I want to go ahead and go with Miss Evangeline Bullock. And if you want to ask David or Tracy any questions, you have the floor.
Well, first of all, I want to just say thank you so much for including me. I'm really honored to be a part of this. And when I hear of David, little David and the Bells of Joy, I always think of family, because every time I see them, they are together. And I think to make gospel music work, people got to see that family can work together before we can actually put the music out. Not only am I a promoter, but I'm also a television hostess, and I've been hosting my own television ministry for 25 years now. I came up under the leadership of Bishop F.C. Barnes, sang with the Redbud Gospel Choir, Luther Barnes, and all of them. So I know what it's like to connect family. And I do believe in the cliche that a family that prays together will stay together. I also believe that one that sings together will stay together. So I'm honored to be a part of this. I certainly want to just commend you guys, because that's one of the things I know that the enemy in this time is trying to destroy, and that's family. So when you can eliminate the jealousy, eliminate the who's in charge, eliminate who can do this and who can do that, and work together as a family, I think that the bond of getting the ministry out to the people will continue to work. So I applaud you guys for what you do. And every time I see you all, you give me the most respect, the utmost respect. And I appreciate that. And I trust me, all quartet singers don't do that. So I want to applaud you guys for that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so we're gonna thank you so much for your questions and coming on.
Yeah, I wanted to know if are you all accepting other artists for your label?
Yes, ma'am. We always looking for groups to work with. You know, not even necessarily signing them to the label, but just trying to help them to get ahead. You don't have to come to the label. It's called networking. Any resources that I have that I can pass along, we definitely don't mind helping nobody get there. Um, the only way we're gonna get to where we're trying to get to is help somebody to get to where they trying to get to. And that's always been our motto. We love helping people. Long as everything is in decency and in order. Again, you don't have to sign to the label, but just reach out and say, hey, how do you do this? Or how can I do this? Or how can you help me do this? And if you look at the panel, you know what MJ, Mr. Riley, Lady Des, KP, I really appreciate what they do for BMG, because if it was a financial thing, I couldn't pay them for what they do for me. And I try to just let them know all the time that I really, really do appreciate what they doing for me. And sometimes I just be overwhelmed about it, you know. And I thank y'all for believing in me and my brother. It's an honor and a privilege to do what we do, because you know we love what we do. We try to be the best at what we do, but we also understand it is a business as well, and keeping everything in line, integrity with what we do. And on the spiritual side, sometimes it can be rough, but every chance I get, I just try to thank people who helped little David and the Bells of Joy along the way, because if it wasn't for people like y'all, it definitely will make our job hard. And I just want to say I thank y'all for that.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. One more thing. Do you have a video? Do you have a DVD of David and the Bells of Joy?
Not yet, but that's one of the projects we are working on.
Wonderful, because that's what I need, because that's what I do and I show it all over the world. So please get it done. Get me whatever I can do to help you with it. Let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Kaylee, we also have MJ Smith of AM 1490 WMBM that is with us as well. So I'm going to bring MJ on. Thank you so much, Miss Evangeline.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
Hello, Mr. MJ Smith. How are you?
I'm good, Miss Kaylee. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. I'm glad you came onto the platform.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to, actually an honor and a pleasure to be here on this evening. Thank you, David. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy, we haven't had the opportunity to quite meet. However, I see great things going on within BMG. My question is for you. I know the foundation has been laid, and I know you guys are steadily on the track to building. Where do you see BMG in the next 5-10 years?
Oh, wow. I see BMG being one of the top independent record labels out there, as far as quartet. If we're not already there. You know, like I said, we're independent. We started with nothing. We started with nothing. We worked hard to get what we have now. We probably one of the only independent artists that have their own record label. 5 Stellar Award nominations. So next 5-10 years, probably, you know, I want to be the next Malico, the next Air Records. the next Light Records. I want to be the #1 record company for independent artists.
Definitely
That's my goal.
All right. Well, I see that you definitely, you guys have a wonderful team built around BMG, and like David said, you know, it's all due to people that believe in you. Now, I'll be one of the first to say that I'm not the biggest or not the first person to run to Quartet. However, you guys have been beating me down. You've been beating me down. So I'm slowly coming aboard. I do listen, but you know, supporting great gospel music is definitely something that I'm all about. So continued blessings, and if there's ever anything, you know, that I can do on my platform to assist, Tracy, I'm here. David, you know how to find me. So, you know, blessings to you guys, and whatever you guys need, if we can do it in Miami, we got you covered.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay, Kaylee, you can go right ahead with the questions. We haven't had another guest to join.
Okay, so Tracy, I'm glad you mentioned about the label, and that Mr. MJ kind of touched on it as well. I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to establish your own independent record label, as opposed to just, you know, going the route that other people take and join someone else's?
Because we got tired of having the middleman take part of your money, part of your royalties. And like I said back then, when the sensational BMG Joy was out there, they didn't know the business. You know, the record companies then didn't give the artists what they should have received. Now, don't get me wrong, we learned from that. And by seeing what my father went through, one day I read their contract and I dissected that contract. And I said, if I ever learn the business, this is what I'm going to do. So when we put this together, my father received his first royalty check in his whole career. He received his first royalty check up under Bell's Records. So once we saw that, it just made me want to push more and more and more. I just kept building, and I'm still building brick by brick. I'm still building.
Oh, okay. So who has the most influence on your music career? Why in your line, in your position in the music career, Tracy, and then David, same question, but in your position.
Mr. Avon Brunt Sr. He's still living. He was part of Gospel Records. You know, just as we were starting our label, he shared some things with me, how to do some things and how to take care of certain things and what to do and what not to do. And right now, today, he always congratulate me. And we're probably one of the only artists that they had on their label at the time. Maybe about 3 or 4 of us that's still out there doing what we do because of them. So yes, Mr.
Well,
Avon Brunt Sr. is one of my biggest influence as far as the record business.
Nice. Congratulations. He said congratulate him, y'all.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Same question for me. For me,
yes,
I would have to say Mr. Randolph is Lee, Mr. Preacher Lee. Reason being for me, because he is responsible for, I'm gonna say, over 50% of Little David, the identity of Little David. All the songs he wrote down through the years, our goal, and I can remember our conversation, our goal in the beginning was to just give me my own sound. And I think without him, I don't think, you know, we will be where we at today. Again, writing songs like Inside Out, Just in Time, Be Ready, He's Coming, Going to Be a Rapture, you know, excellent writer, and I think he's just responsible for a lot of the sound that you hear coming from the Bells of Joy.
So we want to talk about a little bit about your project, all right? So that you have coming up. He'll supply your every need.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted you to elaborate on it and talk about it, and even where you were inspired to even come up with it.
Well, he will supply you every need was one of the projects where it was just around that time, where it was something that we felt as though we needed to do. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that's my senior project, which is amazing to me to, after my father passed, to even be able to complete 4 projects is awesome. So my senior project, I'm really enjoying it. I'm growing into it. I'm looking forward to following it up, and we have some things that's coming behind. He will supply your need as well. Um, some things I think we probably will share with y'all later. But yes, I'm excited where I'm at. Um, I'm enjoying it. Not only just singing, just enjoying making these business ventures, with my brother, the BMG family, uh, and networking and meeting these new people. These new people that's coming along, they're really awesome with their knowledge and their intellect. And I enjoy talking to them and putting everything together to make this work for all of us. Again, at the end of the day, all of us is what make this thing work. No matter if you're a radio personnel or artist, bringing those things together to make it work is what I'm all about, and I'm having fun doing it.
This whole idea of a gospel world series, I'm just itching to get to that. I need to know how you came up with it. What was the idea? What was the brainchild, and who convinced who, and who jumped on board? Like, I need to know all the parts.
Well, World Series just came. Like I say, man, bro, we always brainstorming. We always on the phone, trying to be creative. What can we do to get the edge? Whether it's a slogan or so we came up with World Series because of the anniversary being in October, and that's when the World Series is always in October.
And
We
if I can tag on
started
that,
this maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. Um, Shout outs to the legends. They've been with me from the beginning, helping me live this dream. Shout out to the McDuffies. They've been with me from the beginning, helping me live this dream. Mr. Huey Williams, Doc McKenzie in the highlights. Um, along with some other groups, but some of those groups, I went to them and I told them what my dream was, what my vision was, uh, not only for myself but for the market, for the town of Baltimore. We wanted to bring the best singing here, and they've been awesome and working with me down through the years. Understanding sometimes we had to move numbers around. They was lenient with moving numbers around, and they didn't have to do that, and I appreciate them for that. So um the World Series come from a lot of things. Like I say, come from a lot of groups, come from a lot of hard work. Even our local groups, um, they played a part in the success of this World Series. And this year, it seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm definitely looking forward to having a great time. We added some people this year, like George Dean and the Gospel Four, CC Williams and the Spiritual QCs, Tammy Edwards and the Edwards Sisters, Lord Sammy and the Flying Clouds, uh, Lord Roy and Revelation. So um, I think this year will be one of the best years that we have had, but I think it's also one of the best years that we've have had based off of the hard work we have been doing for the past 3 to 5 years. So I'm looking forward to World Series this year.
I
And
have a
that's
quick I have a quick note
go
on that
ahead.
about that World Series, if I can, if I may. Um,
Absolutely.
it came about, groups been using the word anniversary for years, anniversary for years. And then quartet, you have to sell the event. You have to sell the event. People that's in the music industry understand what I'm saying. You have to sell the event. So I said to myself, what big event in the world happened in October? The World Series. You can't have the Super Bowl in October, right? So we start saying the World Series of Gospel. So now more people got interested in it. People travel from all over to attend to it. You can wear your baseball jersey because you don't wear a 3-piece suit at the World Series game. So again, that World Series is part of us building a brand, building a legacy, building a name, building something that people look forward to coming to every year. And that's how we came up with the World Series of Gospel.
Well, it's definitely become a big thing. It's definitely one of those things where people begin talking about it and mentioning it and trying to figure out what they're going to wear in January for something that happens in October.
Right.
And the buzz is just getting so loud. It's becoming a dull roar. And I have no doubt that by the time we get to October 7th and 8th, it's going to be a full-on shockwave through the area.
Absolutely. Kaylee, let me ask this question to Tracy. The whole World Series thing. Did you ask the people to wear jerseys, or that was something that they automatically did on their own because of the name?
I think no, we started wearing them first.
Okay.
And then people just start catching on to it. And I had an idea just yesterday. So maybe next year we're gonna start getting a cash prize to the best baseball outfit, because people actually came with baseball jersey, baseball dresses, and baseball hats, and I mean, it's the World Series of Gospel. Come comfortable, just enjoy yourself. I mean,
Let's have some church.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's what's up.
So this is in our we got another few minutes. So I want to ask this question to kind of everybody that's with us here on tonight. The question for everyone, those that are in the quartet gospel industry, you all have been committed to the quartet gospel industry for years. How do you think radio personalities contribute to the survival of gospel quartet music?
I like to go first on that.
Sure.
They play a very important part because with groups and artists don't understand. The radio personality don't need us; we need them. The people can't go buy your music and download your music if they don't hear your music. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So they don't need us. We need them. Without them, a lot of groups will be sitting home because they don't know how to go out there and fish. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to pick that phone up. They don't know how to build relationships to make it happen.
If I may jump in.
Anybody else want to piggyback?
Yeah, I can piggyback on that. Tracy, that was very good and that's very true. You see, not that radio announcers are bigger than life and all of this stuff, but we're here to support the artists and play the music. When I got into the industry, it was the old cliche that I really don't particularly like to use when they say, and you probably heard it before, but it said a radio announcer can make or break the artist.
That's true.
That
that's what I was saying.
When I heard it, I say to myself, "Oh, that's a horrible thing to say," but then I realized that it's true. Like you said, Tracy, if we don't play your music, you won't be heard.
You won't be heard.
Yeah,
and then on top of that,
exactly.
On top of that, groups want you to play their music, right?
Right.
But the project not professional looking, not coded, not shrink wrap. It look any old kind of way, but they want you to play it. So your presentation means a lot.
And I'm big on that. And I learned that by going to a conference and like what you all are doing and what we did in Birmingham at the Quartet Convention. I learned And I found out that a lot of the new artists, they don't understand that. You got to go build a network. You got to go see how the other artists are performing. And stage presentation is the key. You know, I went to a conference with Dr. Bobby Jones was having his conference in Miami. And you can't bring Dr. Jones a CD where it's handwritten.
That's right.
About what you're saying, Tracy. You can't do that. And I've learned that if you're going to bring me a project, it got to be packaged right.
That's right.
And a lot of the new people don't see it. They figure in their back room at home, they figure they can put it together and then come bring it to you.
Right. And, you know, a lot of artists don't care about that now because you have a lot of radio stations on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they don't. So because the person on Facebook playing that record, they think that's something good. But on the business side, you're not getting compensated for that spend that you got on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, you can get on Facebook 50 times a day, but you'll never hit billboards because somebody playing your music off their phone in their living room.
Right.
And if I may, I think a lot of what's happening too is that the artists that are coming up and coming out now, everything is microwave. Everything is right now, and they're not realizing that when they're putting out their music, when they put it out, they're going directly into competition, so to say, or going into the main stages where you're going to run into a Kirk Franklin or a Fred Hammond or, you know, the Mighty Clouds of Joy. You're running into those arenas. And if your product does not match up to what industry standards are, then you just shot yourself in the foot.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, can I add this too, MJ? When you said that, I thought about when I went to the Quartet convention in Birmingham. Pastor Luther Barnes had taught a class, and I'm not an artist. I don't sing, but I sat in the class anyway. And he said something that I thought was very profound, and I listened to that. He told the group that whatever you do, don't rush your project.
Absolutely.
He said that if once it's out there, you can't take it back. That stuck with me for years.
That's definitely a nugget because a lot of people feel rushed whenever, you know, even by, I would say from my perspective, you know, even from patrons saying like, what do you have out next? What do you have coming up? What's cooking? And they do feel kind of rushed to just kind of put something out just to say that they have something out. That's a definite nugget from a definite, legend.
And if I would add to that, you know, just from the PR side and the, you know, we get a lot of material from artists, or we're getting ready to set interviews for artists. You know, I'm just shocked of how many artists don't have the business side together. They don't have their bios. They don't know what the one sheet is. You know, the MP3s is all out of whack. It's just so many different things that are going on, but they're just singing in their own little sector. You know, some may travel abroad, but they don't have that business side together. And you have to be prepared to go in, because you never know when that break is going to come. And when announcers or promoters or whoever the case may be, producers ask for these things, you should be able to provide that automatically. So, you know, I just encourage artists to get their business together. When you presenting these things to the radio station, producers, or whoever the case may be.
To the promoters and radio hosts, is there ever a way? Is there ever a way that when an artist, we talked about, you know, just them releasing, kind of being able to play themselves over or having people play them over and over on social media. Is there ever a how do I want to put it? Is there ever a process where they could drown themselves out before ever even getting to for, ever even getting to their project being released. You know how sometimes you can have a song and you want to hurry up and get it pushed before maybe an anniversary or something like that, but the project hasn't officially released, but then it's playing everywhere. You can kind of make it, passe before it even hits the market.
Kaylee, I would say it all depends on the type of song, because if you
Okay.
have a good song and it's one of those songs that people are going to want to hear for years and years to come, then there's no way that you can oversaturate it. If you have a bad song and you put that bad song out, then you can definitely oversaturate. So it definitely depends on the product and the project, in my opinion.
I agree.
Anyone else? Agree?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with MJ.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So before we wrap up, does anybody else have any other questions for David or Tracy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Riley.
Yeah, I want to say that I think this was a great platform. I think that it's something that other artists should do, because you give the radio announcer, give the promoters a chance to talk one-on-one. And by listening to the artist speak, you would say, okay, they have their heart into this, and they're serious about what they're doing. They're not singing just to be singing. They have a ministry going on. So this kind of platform, David and Tracy and Lady Des and Kayla, this is really great. I think it brings the radio announcers and promoters and artists closer, because you don't get a chance to do this.
Right.
I think it's great.
I think that was kind of the.
Appreciate it.
Oh, go ahead.
Good. Iron sharpen iron. We forever learn, and I think this was really great. And it's time to listen to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We have a comment coming in from Eric McKenzie. He said, I get them calls at least 3 times a week. Blame that on the convention promoters. It appears these conventions are only about cashing in and giving new artists a chance to perform before a crowd. If conventions will really focus on education, it will really help everyone. I do agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with Cuz, and I was sitting here thinking, a lot of groups don't understand the language. They need to be taught the language of the business. When I say language, I ran across a group not too long ago, not to mention no names, and he said, "Man, you know what? We just came off tour." I said, "Yeah, where you been?" He said, "Man, we was in Georgia Saturday and Florida Sunday." I said, "Where else you been?" He said, "That's it." I said, "That ain't no tour. That's a weekend." But that's what they really think, and their mindset is different, because they get a weekend, it's a tour, and they put their mindset somewhere different. Or you get this, they go out of town this week and go out of town next week. Now they're a road group. So they need to be taught the language of the business. Like Eric said, they need to be taught the language. A tour is not a weekend. If it's not 14 dates or more constantly, week in, week out, 50, 60 dates on your books, like Kurt Franklin's, it's not a tour.
Yeah.
It's a weekend.
And if I can address Eric for a moment, Bill Riley can attest to that. There's been tons and tons of conventions and workshops and classes that go back to GMWA, to Gospel Announcers Guild, to what has become the GIN. These classes take place, and unfortunately, a lot of times the artists don't want to participate in the learning part or the learning aspect of the classes. They come, they want to perform or minister. A lot of them come to perform. They do what they have to do, and they leave. And if they come with an entourage, when they go, the crowd that they brought go right along with them. That's a lot of how the conventions have been going for the last couple of years. It takes an artist that's really, really dedicated to his or her craft to want to get the information. And, you know, when you go to conventions, these are the places where you are sitting next to radio promoters, where you're sitting next to the program directors. And a lot of times, you know, they're not taking the opportunity to get to know or network at that particular time. So the next time the opportunity comes around, you may have missed your opportunity because you were just there to sing and sing well and leave. So a lot of times when the conventions take place, you know, if the classes take place in the morning and the performances take place in the afternoon or in the evenings, a lot of people have other things that they're doing in the mornings. But if what you're doing is your priority, then you make time for those things.
Absolutely. I really agree with that.
I totally agree with that. We have attended several of them, and for the up and coming groups up there that's trying to make a name for themselves, if you can't invest $300 in getting to the convention, how you expect for a promoter to give you $1,000? When I go to conventions, I give away 100 CDs.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That one CD only cost me $3 to make, to get pressed up. So if I gave you $3 and you enjoyed it and you gave me $1,500, it was worth me giving you that CD. But most groups look at the cost. Oh man, I'm giving away $15. But hey, Luther Barnes always told me, you have to be where the people is at.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If the people ain't there, who gonna know you? Don't worry about the money.
That's right.
Take care of the people and take care of the promoters, give them what they need, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, and I'm not trying to keep the conversation going, but when you said what you said, Tracy, I remember when Dr. Bobby Jones was having his retreats in different states, and he was charging the group like $700 to get that five minutes on stage. And some of the local groups would say something like, oh, I'm not paying that kind of money for no 5-10 minutes. I'm not doing that. They don't understand. That was 5 minutes of fame.
5 minutes of fame.
And you got 5-6 guys in a group, and you're not coming with $100 a piece just for the 5 minutes. Listen, that was 5 minutes of fame, and you missed that because of that, the way you were thinking.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So may I ask a question from, I guess, a civilian standpoint of this part of it? When a group
Katie, civilian.
Right, civilian. I'm just coming into this. I don't have all my stripes yet, but from this standpoint, when you are when a group comes up, let's say a new group, in a sense, they come up and they don't have all of those things that would make a promoter or someone that's hosting an event or something like that, you know, say, I want that group. Is there any moment after that fact where they are given, I don't know, a critique that where they can, whereby they can go and say, okay, thank you for this, and we can take this with us, and so we can work on that, and then the next time we come, we can get better?
Can I answer that?
Let me put it this way. The conventions is the place to be, period.
Okay.
Lee Williams got discovered at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
The convention is the place to be. Now, I can come home and take all my knowledge and share with you for free. And people here won't even write it down. But they wonder how you get where you at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I invested my money to get the knowledge for myself, and that knowledge cost me whatever it cost me, and I come home and bring it to you, and you don't take advantage of that knowledge, then you blame yourself.
Absolutely.
And Kaylee, if I can just add, artists should be open to that constructive criticism. A lot of times artists are saying, oh, well, tell me what you think, tell me what you think. And then if you give them the raw truth, then a lot of times some artists are not receptive because you're not telling them what it is that they want to hear. You know,
Okay.
I had situations where I've said, well, you know what, if you did X, Y, and Z, then maybe this would happen for you, or go back to the drawing board and do this over because this is what the criteria for radio is. A lot of people hear the information and they do nothing with it, and then they turn around and come back with the same problem, and then you say, well, you're still presenting me with the same thing that I gave you information and didn't charge you for to correct. So a lot of times artists have to be open to that constructive criticism and willing to do something about it.
And also, MJ, if I can piggyback off of that too, is just to be open what you don't know and open to say that I need help. Can you help me build in this area? Because like I said before, a lot of them don't have it, and they won't say anything. And then a lot of times when things come through my desk or I see these things, you know, it's like, hey, you need help with this? And they still won't admit that that's something that they need help with, or they just don't have it.
So is there a stigma to not ask? Like, is there something that makes them appear to them, or they assume makes them feel like, as it said, a loke to, you know, to ask that question, like, I need help, can you help me?
Well, they, you know, most of them, they don't know how to ask. They're like MJ was saying, they may not be able to handle the constructive criticism. They, you know, they don't want to hear that. And if they hear that, they stop talking to you. So, you know, it's kind of hard for them. You know, something, you know, you just got to be real. You know, ain't no harm in saying, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
It don't cost you anything.
Yeah.
You'll find out if you just say that, you'll be surprised what the receiver is going to do. They're going to, like David was saying, you want to just go out and help people. You ain't got to sign to us. Just come and I'll help you. And I thought it was a great thing. And I've been hearing that you all do, you know, Tracy and David, I hear you all do that. You know,
Yes,
even
sir.
I have not been to the All-Star, you know, the program you were doing, but I will be attending. I can't do it this year, but I will be attending because I've been hearing great things about it.
Excuse me. You hear that, Tracy? He done
Yes.
renamed the next one All-Star.
Oh yeah.
The All-Star.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know the thing is,
I woke up that time.
you have to, you know, yeah, but that's the thing, you know, and see, we as people, we have to help each other, and that's why Lady Des and I wanted to get to those artists that don't get the recognition. They need the help, you know, give them the opportunity. It don't cost me anything to put them on the air to get an interview, but if I can help somebody while I'm behind this mic, that's success to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, speaking of that, that's one reason why we had two parts of the World Series. The first night, it's always the groups who keep us busy on the road. All they want is a chance.
Mm.
I can open that same platform up to Baltimore groups or certain groups. They want to put you through a whole bunch of red tape, right? But those groups there keep us busy all the time for years. All they want is a chance.
Yeah, that's it.
And I
So
think
that's
it's
why you
only
see a lot of out of town groups that's building their name. You might not have never heard of them on our first party event. That's our way of saying thank you to them for, you know,
for what they done for
supporting us
us.
throughout these years.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And, you know, I think that's what makes the BMG brand so different and so unique from the rest of them, because they're always giving back. You know, they're always trying to help and think of others. I had an opportunity to work with these guys for the past few months, and Quartet really was not what I wanted to do as far as business side. I come from a more corporate type background, and David was just adamant about it. And I'm so glad that I did have a chance to come in and to work with them, because I get to see hands-on of how dedicated they are in helping different artists, you know, things that they pass over to me a lot of times to see if I can help this individual do X, Y, and Z, or get whatever they need done. So I think this is what makes that Bell Music Group brand so different, because they're always thinking about the next person or the next group, you know, what's that next generation. And that's what helped keeps Quartet alive.
Yes. You got to help each other, because there's so much out here. You can't obtain one can't obtain it all. And so this is, like today, it's unplug. You got to plug in.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. So it is so much. Everyone need each other. Everyone got their own flavor, but I call it like a buffet. You know, we pay one price to get in, but it's like so variety. So not only the World Series, but all the ministry, quartet, choir, whatever. We all in this gospel. I'm coming from the spiritual side. I'm the spiritual sister. Like, because we gospel singers. So, and God is so huge. So, and then I love about them, because they want to share the knowledge. They want you to get it. They want you to, because hey, it's going to time for no jealousy stuff. That's always going to be on the platform. But the point is, you got to know where your heart is, so you can always tell. So it's so much knowledge here today that I just was sitting still now, even though a lot I already know. But the point is, you would never, I don't care how high you get, you forever learning.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and then you push others. You on that level. You know, someone got to cover our locals. You know, call me local all day, but I love. But I know my brothers, they call that way, they call that way. But we got each other back. Yeah. That's what I love, and that's what I miss about a little bit of this next generation. You got to still stay a little humble wherever tier you go. You know, that everyone got their own platform, but we support each other. I don't care what go down.
Absolutely. I think what makes this whole thing so monumentous is the fact that... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the thing that makes this whole thing so monumental, I said monumentous, we coming up with all kinds of words tonight.
Don't worry.
Monumental is that...
Blame it on the bells. Go ahead.
Is that everybody on here, so David, I keep calling her Desiree, and it is not, is that Miss Lady Des, Tracy, and even Miss Darlene being here, and me being right here, is that Miss Darlene was giving me tips from the very beginning when she first started hearing me give interviews and just talking to people and things like that. And she was just willing, just in my inbox. Listen, I think this would be a good idea. I know about this, or I saw this, or I heard, you know, whatever. And here, try this and do that. And I took them and just kind of, okay, let me try to do this. And the funny thing is, the first time I tried to use this platform, I failed so horribly. I didn't even want to tell Miss Darlene. I was like, oh, I don't know how to use it. And so, but I'm saying that to say this, she gave it and didn't say, and you better tell people I told you this, or I helped you with this, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And every time she sees me, even the very last time I saw her, she gave me another nugget and was like, here, I think you need to start doing this too. And I'm so grateful for that. And then to even come into contact with Tracy and David, and after, you know, one day you guys will be able to hear the whole backstory, but this and to come in contact with them, and they just be immediately open to giving me answers to the questions. And you guys already know Miss Darlene and Des, I'll ask a million questions, and they'll answer them and not say, all right, that's enough. And they continue to do, and then even to the degree of giving me this opportunity. So I'm excited and I'm grateful for it. And Desiree just been here. I've been calling her, and even some of the things that she mentioned tonight, I'm like, yeah, because that's me. But they are really more than willing to help.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick because see, that's how the Lord's doing the connection, and like how this all came together. I met my sister, Daz, through my brothers. World Series. That connection. Y'all talking about conventions. We had that at the World Series. The fellowship, you know what I'm saying? Tammy Edwards and all, everybody. It's like you and even though the spirit was there for both days, all that good stuff. And then, but honestly speaking, it was the fellowship downstairs and the fellowship hall. Everybody, you would think you knew each other for years.
Yes.
People that you so. And that's another thing I'm going to throw out in the air that as we hear now today, Tracy and I'm going to have to add that one night ahead, just do some kind of talk, whatever. We're going to have to add that, and because it's too much out here, and I believe that there's a lot of people on, but I'm not. We always going to have those negative, all that. I'm not focused on that. Mm-hmm. Many want a solution and really a weekend hand. They want. I hear problems so much, but can we start talking about the solution? The solution
over sympathy.
That's it. And that's another T-shirt for my brother. You hear what he said? So anyway, that's
what David said.
Repeat it. I think we
solutions over sympathy.
Absolutely.
Amen. Over sympathy in the church. Amen. Yeah, that's it. That's
I think if artists start competing and comparing themselves so much to others, and just like David always say, stay in your lane. Be secure in who you are as an artist, as a radio personality, as a producer, or whatever the case may be. And like we said before, and I don't mean to be repetitive, but if you need help, seek for that help. Seek for that help and say something, because you don't know who's out there that is able to assist you in that.
And be humble about it, though.
And be humble. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You got to be humble with it. Because,
So the whole thing is we want those solutions. We want those solutions. Yeah. Like David said, solutions over sympathy. But you have to be willing to invest. You have to be willing to give. You have to be willing to do all of those things and just kind of come off your high horse if you think you already arrived and you haven't, or your self-esteem is not up to par because you're always looking and comparing.
Because you're not well developed in that area, the character. And character means a lot.
Absolutely.
Characters mean a lot. We have been with many, but I love their ministry. But to see you after, but and one more question I'm going to throw out you guys, because I'm waking up now, but I'm still kind of sleepy, and because actually David started, because I saw David doing one of them old men's nod, he's doing that nod to the right, and so and then I thought he was going to wake up and sing his song, Shake the Dust, But he came back because the Lord supplied his energy. But anyway, one more thing, you guys noticed that it's like a lot of time when many get elevated, you celebrate each other, because I believe elevation is always going on. But many have the expectation that you owe them something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But instead of celebrating you, so that's why I pray against that. That we start focusing, like, keep celebrating each other from the smallest to the great.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I just wanted. I said I wasn't going to ask no question, but that's my question to the black men of God, bells of joy. Do you guys feel that expectation that it's more God been elevating the movie all around, all that good stuff?
Anytime God is taking you from one place to another, you're going to have you're going to have some things you you're going to have to deal with. In order to get to that level, you're going to have to be more mature than you once was. You're going to have to use more intellect than you once did. You're going to have to show more patience than you once did. If you fail those things, it just shows that you're not ready to get to that next level. We can't consistently respond to things the same way, and we say that we are growing.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. Um, I'm a living witness and a prime example that I can say that I have grown over the years because I don't think the same. Um, I don't speak the same. I don't respond to things the same. But what I do is I try to process all the information. And one thing I want to share with everybody, when you don't know, is in the word that you're supposed to seek counsel. And I don't have a problem with seeking counsel and coming up with the best decision and solution for my problem. And then we all make a choice and decision and we go forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And that's just all come from learning from your experience.
You got to learn from your experience.
Yes.
When you're not learning, you're dead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you will learn until you're 100 years old if you live to be. You constantly learn every day of your life. You're learning something that you didn't know, or something that can make you better than what you was. When you stop doing those things, you're not living anymore. So I'm always listening for new ideas, insight. I'm like a sponge. If I can take something from you to make myself a better person, that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't steal, but I be stealing from all of y'all, and y'all don't know it. Why? Because those are good things to steal. I need that. I'm gonna steal all your good traits.
You don't have to steal it. Just ask.
No, no, I can't ask. I got to go ahead and slide it away from me. Yeah, but I'm always, wanting to talk. There's, we talk about everything. It could be politics, it could be sports, it could be the mental part of life, the spiritual part of life, finance, and that's what it's about. Just talking about all of these things and making somebody day a better day. You'd be surprised what people go through. People can't even get through a day just because they got a $150 gas and electric bill. They almost feel like it's the end of the world. Like a lot of people just can't handle certain types of pressure. I mean, it's just what it is. God made all of us different. So what one is going through, it doesn't mean that somebody else is having a hard time going through the same thing that you're going through. So we just have to be careful of each other's strength is different. And yeah, so at the end of the day, we are human, and all we have is us. And I think I hate to see my family and my friends down. So anything I can do to encourage them and uplift them, I'm gonna try to do that. If you hurting, I'm hurting. If you losing, I'm losing. And if we a team, none of us can afford to lose because we all need to win.
That's very good that I'm hearing this, because they may not say it, but we do say it. Talking about Lady Des and MJ and myself, the three of us have such a bond that nobody can come between it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's so tight that nobody can come to me and say
Mm-hmm.
anything negative or bad about them.
Right.
Lady Des and I share the same birthday date, not the same year, but the same date. And MJ is the next day.
Absolutely.
So the chemistry is so strong that nobody. So what you were saying, David, is some powerful stuff.
Absolutely. Wow. And that's the word he used. It's a team, and I feel that we all here are a team, and we look out for each other. We watch out for each other. We support each other. We encourage each other, and that's what being a team is all about. It's no big I's, little U's. We're one. We're one. And
Sister Des, you say that you all get along, but sometime at work I get this clip by MJ and you. I don't know all about that being true all the time.
Wait, hold on, Miss Darlene.
You better clarify that.
Hold on, Miss Darlene.
Regardless of what it looks like.
Hold on, Des, I got it. Regardless of how we make it look, it is definitely all love. But that's my little sister, and I'm gonna bother her until I can't bother her no more.
But keep on bothering, because I get a kick out. I'm like, Lord, they added it again.
From the time he wake up to he clocked out after 8 o'clock. So
that's it.
My goodness.
But yeah, we're definitely a team.
I thank God for connections. That's what it's all about. Still yet blowing our mind, all the connections. See?
Amen. All right, Haley, it's in your hands.
Are there
anything else?
No, I'm gonna enjoy my barbecue chicken. Thank you, Lord. I got a lot of information again to encourage and stay plug and unplug. When you unplug, go back to BMG video and get plugged.
Absolutely.
From the inside out.
That's right.
Yes, and he will supply your each and every need.
Come on here. Don't start nothing. I'll go to the car and get my tamarind, because you know I'll do it in a minute. I love y'all.
Love you too, sis.
Stay the course.
Yes, ma'am.
And anybody, if y'all tune in, you got time to get your tickets, because that weekend is really going to be crazy. It's in 2 weeks. So
it's in 2 weeks. Go out, get your tickets.
Yeah.
World Series, October 7th.
And the 8th. The 7th and the 8th.
7th and 8th. So yes, we're definitely on, and we're looking forward to having a good
October, guys. You want to be here this year.
Yeah.
Right. And the Orioles are,
looking good.
Yeah.
Looking good.
That's right. Got my half T-shirt with the Ravens and the Orioles. Come on here. Yeah.
I just got me a jersey as well. But the vote is still
Somebody
out.
need to tell me where to get one.
Oh Lord. We're looking for the Ravens to come on through too. Lord help them heal their bones.
Just check out Amazon. But I can't wait to see everybody. Our flights are booked, hotels are booked, so we're ready.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I think are any more rooms available? I don't know.
I didn't do
that. Something block. I'm not sure. Because they had a certain block. Do you guys know any more left?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That is not my department, but I will get somebody from that department to reach out to you.
Oh, Tracy is on. He's from that department. Tracy.
Right.
Yeah.
My room already covered. I'm in Baltimore already.
Hey, I have two things to say real quick. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, the rooms are blocked. You can go on my page and get the code blocked. The second thing is that we want to thank Tracking Your Success company for getting our music out there to all the radio stations, tracking your success, and also Here Supply Your Every Need came in at 375 on the top 500 billboards on last week. Nice. Now it's 132 billboards. And Let Your Light Shine featuring Mr. George Dean has been on the top 500 charts for the last 32 weeks.
Awesome. Congrats, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely on it and excited. And again, I definitely don't take this lightly. I appreciate everybody that do help little David and the Bells of Joy in any fashion. And I just really can't thank y'all enough, and I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
All is well. Go,
All is
Belle.
well.
It's all on you, Candy.
Well, from all of us at BMG Unplugged, I am Kay, and I'm here with all of the parts. So create a place, guys, where collaboration creation is a natural reality. Until next time, plug in with one another until we unplug again from the inside out.
All right.
Hey. Good night.
Good night, you guys. Good night. Have a blessed one.
Yeah.
Good night, John Boy.